القاعدة الثامنة, the eighth rule. من كفر مسلما بلا تأويل كفر. Anyone who deems a Muslim as a non-Muslim without a ta'wil, he blasphemes. Ta'wil here means or includes. Ta'wil here includes some confusion, some type of confusion, and it includes comparing the Muslim to the non-Muslim. A metaphor. Making a metaphor of a Muslim being a non-Muslim. That means he said, you kafir, he means you act like a kafir, without saying act like. He says, you kafir, meaning you who's like a kafir, without saying like. That's a ta'wil. He has a ta'wil. Kafir, he blasphemes if he does not have a ta'wil. كما صح في حديث Muslim, like what is authenticated in the hadith of Muslim. من قال لأخيه يا كافر فقد باء بها أحدهما. Anyone who says to his brother, Muslim brother, oh disbeliever, oh blasphemer, فقد باء بها أحدهما, one of those two then would go back as such, as a disbeliever. فَإِنْ كَانَ كَمَا قَالَ, if he were, as the other one said, فَذَاك, then so be it. وَإِلَّا رَجَعَتْ عَلَيْهِ, or else it comes back on him, the one who pronounced it wrongly, without a ta'wil, then his accusation of blasphemy comes back on him. And here, the Prophet ﷺ, he did not say, it's haram to call a person a kafir. This hadith doesn't prove that it's haram to call a person a kafir. If someone brings you this hadith to prove that it's haram to call a person a kafir, you tell him this hadith does not prove that. He says right here, فَإِنْ كَانَ كَمَا قَالَ, if it were as he said, or if that one were as he said, فَذَاك, then so be it. That's the meaning. فَإِنْ كَانَ كَمَا قَالَ, أي فَذَاك, فَذَاك الْأَمْرُ. If it were as he said, then so be it. So that means then it's true. He didn't say something haram. وذلك لأنه جعل الإسلام الذي عليه هذا الشخص المسلم كفرا. And that is because he has made Islam, that religion upon which is this Muslim person, he made Islam to be blasphemy by calling that Muslim person a blasphemer without a ta'wil. وَأَمَّا إِنْ كَانَ مُتَأَوِّلًا, but if he were some misconstruer or someone making a metaphor, كَأَنْ كَفَّرَهُ لِشُرْبِ الْخَمْرِ, like he deemed him as a disbeliever for drinking wine, that means he has confusion. أَوْ لِلزِّنَا أَوْ لِقَتْلِهِ نَفْسَهُ, or for adultery, or for suicide. لأنه ظن لجهله أن شربه للخمر أو زناه أو مجرد انتحاره كفر, because he thought, because of his ignorance, that his drinking wine or his adultery or his mere suicide is blasphemy. فكفره لذلك, and so that's why he deemed him as a disbeliever. فلا يكفر, then this one is not deemed as a blasphemer. إنما يفسق, he would merely be deemed as a major sinner. This is the case of some of the Khawarij. They said the major sinner is a kafir. So, and they don't have more than that. They didn't say something that's kufr for sure. This is where they are deviated here, saying that a major sin is kufr, and they didn't deviate further than those ones. We tell them, and they're not being stubborn also, and also they're not being stubborn, then someone like that, we're going to tell him it's not kufr, don't say that, without deeming him as a kafir. وَكَذَلِكَ لَوْ قَالَ لَهُ, and likewise had he said to him, يَا كَافِرْ مُرِيدًا أَنَّ حَالَكَ وَسِيرَتَكَ لِشِدَّةِ سُوئِهِمَا يُشْبِهَانِ حَالَ وَسِيرَةَ الْكَافِرِ. Likewise, someone who said to another, "O kafir," meaning that his case and his lifestyle, because of how bad they both are, how bad his case is and how foul his lifestyle is, they resemble the case and the lifestyle of a real kafir. So it means he's saying you're like a kafir. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَكْفُرُ, this one does not blaspheme, but that's a major sin too. Wallahu a'lam. We'll stop there, and then Shaykh has some closing words that we'll cover next week if Allah enables us. Do you have any question I can answer for you?
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So the case in anyone who says that the Muslim is like a kafir is a major sinner?
No, we're saying he said he is a kafir, but he means he's like a kafir.
Okay, I got it.
Then he's a major sinner. Not that he said he's like a kafir. He said he is a kafir, meaning he's like a kafir. Mm-hmm. And he called him a kafir.
I didn't hear that part. All right, thank you.
Yeah. When I say, you're welcome. When I say he's saying he is a kafir, I mean he's calling him a kafir, but he means like a kafir. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. You have a question? If so, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
In the beginning, when you said, when you talked about the person that says the shahada, I guess the precautionary shahada for like just in case, if they ever said any blasphemy.
Yeah.
Is that something that's permissible for one to do, like to say the shahada, I guess, out of precautionary in case for any situation if they think they may have, or not, maybe not if they think they may have, like, in that case? Because I always was told like a person doesn't say it in this case.
It's obligatory on a person to say a precautionary shahada when he knows that something is kufr, but he doesn't know for sure that he fell into it.
Okay.
So maybe you're asking me about another case.
Yeah, maybe I am. I'm saying for a person to just say it out of precaution for just in case.
With no issue in mind.
Correct.
He doesn't have to do that.
Okay.
Because like we said, he could just be saying shahada naturally. That's going to be good enough.
No.
If he believes in Islam and he disavows all kufr, any and every kufr, whether he could conceive that kufr or not conceive it. Well, if it's kufr, he denounces it and he says the shahada, he's a Muslim. He says, so just to understand it clearly, if someone wishes haram matter to be lawful, is blasphemy? No, Shaykh said, if he wishes something that's haram in all sacred laws to be lawful, then that's blasphemy. And he gave examples like adultery or eating pig meat. Ameen wa fikum. Yeah, after learning that rule about the shahada, for me, on a personal level, the first time I learned that from Sheikh Samir when he taught us this book, he explained that issue of saying the shahada and that If you know something is blasphemy and you disavow all blasphemy and you just say the shahada, then you're a Muslim. Right there, this defeated the devil for me in this issue decisively. And I hope it does that for you also. Never let the devil, after learning this, make you doubt about yourself here. You say, I know what's blasphemy and what's not blasphemy. I might not have heard every case that could ever exist, but if it were to be presented to me, I'd know it's blasphemy, for example. And I say the shahada. Then you're a Muslim. Now, after that, the devil shouldn't get you there anymore, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Yes, your question, please. Go ahead. آمين وفيكم. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
So if you meet a person who claims to be Muslim and you know that you've heard of this person, living a lifestyle like a kafir, is it kufr for you to tell them to take the shahada again? Or to just tell them to just say the shahada?
It's not going to be kufr just to say to them, take the shahada only. It's going to be kufr to tell a Muslim to say the shahada to become a Muslim. Someone that you believe is a Muslim, to tell him to take the shahada to become a Muslim, that's going to be kufr.
Okay, but if you believe this person is not, even though they claim that they are.
If you believe he's not a Muslim only because of his behavior, and you knew him to be a Muslim before, you knew him previously to be a Muslim, and then because, let's say, his lifestyle changed, his company, how he dresses, how he acts, he doesn't pray, for example, he only hangs with non-Muslims, he doesn't come to the masjid, he doesn't, nothing, let's say he doesn't even give you a salam, let's say he drinks, he smokes, everything, lifestyle like a kafir completely. Then to deem him as a kafir, that's a major sin.
But what if you did not know him before to be a Muslim? And you just met?
Then you wouldn't have a reason to deem him as a Muslim.
You said I would or I wouldn't?
You would not. You would not have a reason to deem him as a Muslim.
Okay.
If you're in a kafir country.
Okay. Thank you.
Ameen wa fikum.
I have another question.
Yes, please.
When you talked about saying this shahada naturally, you're saying like as a knee-jerk reaction, like not at all for any type of worship?
Not for a particular worship, not with an intention of making dhikr, not with an intention of doing it in the prayer.
So like if a person says shahada like in their sleep, is this like considered?
Well, that's not going to be valid.
No.
Because he doesn't even have a mind at that time.
Say that again.
He doesn't even have a mind at that time if he's sleeping.
Okay, so what about like in between sleep then, like rolling over, or
did he wake up?
Correct.
So he has a mind at that time. Like for example, he's walking down the street and he says, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Like that.
Shukran.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. You said, was that under yes?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Can I just get a clarification? Because you said if you're in a Catholic country, so can you give the general judgment for that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you see someone and they don't pose to be as a Muslim in any way whatsoever,
if you were in a Muslim country, would you look at these people and say, these people are kuffar? I don't know them.
No.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's going to be the other way. If you're in a Catholic country, you're going to say, these people are Muslims. and say they're kuffar.
Right.
Mm.
But going back to her question, she said that if she was basing it off of the man telling or the person telling her that I am a Muslim, then she would have no reason to tell him to take the shahada, right?
So,
Or she's just basing it off of the looks, or I mean, because I wasn't really clear what she was trying to ask.
a person knew about someone that he was a Muslim, and then because of his behavior deems him as a kafir out of his ignorance. That's haram.
Right. Okay. I cap it as in like a non-believer,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And that's only haram. Okay.
Yes.
Barakallahu fikum.
Ameen wa fikum. You said, was that under the case of deeming another with blasphemy without the two witnesses instead, just because of some random indication? I don't know what you're asking me. Your question is unclear for me. You want to adjust your question? Or maybe you got your answer and you're good. You said, what makes wishing for a rule to be legal that wasn't legalized in any sacred law kufr? I haven't heard. You said, like charging another with blasphemy because of some random reason. It's still unclear for me. It's not clear for me. If you want, you can try a third time. Husnu su'ali nisful ilm. Perfecting the question is half of the knowledge. He says, so to clarify, calling a Muslim ya kafir or saying he is a Jew is a major sin only if the person means that he resembles the kuffar. What else will he mean? Do you know another meaning he would mean? Either he means he resembles a kafir or he means he's actually a kafir. So if he means he's actually a kafir while he's a Muslim, it's kufr. If he means he resembles, if he says he's a kafir, meaning he resembles a kafir, it's a major sin.
Okay, Sheikh, wait, to clarify. So if you did not know the person beforehand, so you didn't know them to be a Muslim whatsoever, and you meet this person and the person says, yes, I'm a Muslim, but you know, he's telling you about things that he does and it resembles a kafir. Would you deem him as like to tell him, okay, let's take your shahada? Is that kufr on you, or is that a major sin?
Why deem him as a kafir?
Because he does things that kafirs do.
That's not kufr though.
Okay.
So we can't deem him as a kafir for something that's not kufr.
Okay.
It would have been another thing if you told me when I just asked you that question. It would have been another thing if you told me, because when he said I'm a Muslim, I didn't believe him. That's a different thing. But that's not what you answered me.
Right.
You
So if
said
I
like,
did say that,
well, then that's different. Yani, if he said he's a Muslim and you didn't believe him, then you might say to him, say the shahada.
Okay, that makes sense.
You said, like charging a Muslim with kufr because he changed, he hangs around with kafirs and doesn't give salam anymore, thinking he became a kafir. So what's the question? Last chance. I'm about to get off now. This is your last chance. Make your question clear for me. Is it sinful or kufr? Charging a Muslim with kufr, yani, so deeming a Muslim as a kafir because he acts like a kafir, that's haram, major sin. That also means you're ignorant, though. That means you think that he committed kufr out of your ignorance. Barakallahu feekum. La ilaha illallah. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم رب اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات. بارك الله فيكم. See you next week. Looks like we have one more session of this, and then we'll see what we do after that, inshallah. Allah knows best. Ameen.